Hello, hello, hello. So, anybody who's watched my previous videos, let me get rid of some of this stuff here. Anybody who's watched my previous videos have seen me reviewing a number of Windows phones, Nokia, Microsoft, and I've always been a fan of the Windows Mobile, which, as we all know, is on its last legs. So I thought I would review this phone because it can be picked up for less than $100 and I think it is very decent. What is it? Okay, well, it's a Windows phone. This is the Alcatel Idol 4S. Okay, this, it's not new. I think it's at least 2016, 2017 it came out. But it has it's Windows 10 mobile, and it is very, very, very nice. It's a good looking phone. Spec wise, and I had to look at this, it has Snapdragon 820. It's one of the most powerful Windows phones ever. So it has a Snapdragon 820 processor clocked at 2.15 gigahertz, is 5.5 inch full HD AMOLED display, very, very nice. It's 4 GB of RAM. This one comes with 64 GB internal memory and 4 GB of RAM. I said, yes, 64 and takes a 64, of course, of internal. Get my words out right, and a SD card slot, so you can upgrade it till, I think it takes up to 128 GB SD card. Has a 21 megapixel camera with LED flash, fingerprint sensor obviously there, 8 megapixel front camera, nice stereo speakers, which it gives it a half decent sound. And I just wanted to check the battery. So it's a 3000 milliamp an hour battery, and has quick charge too. So it charges pretty quickly. It's a USB-C. It does have a headphone jack. So and it's made of metal and glass, so it feels very, very premium. It just feels really good. It's a wee bit on the slippery side, so you do have to be careful. And I did order a cheap kind of silicone case for it. You can't find this phone in KSA. I think a lot of these phones came on a contract, maybe with T-Mobile in America, so it's why you can find them quite cheap now, unlocked. Or if you are in America, of course, you can find one of these carriers. So when it first came out, these were pretty expensive, but due to the fact that Windows 10 is now on its way out, of course, this is why we can find them a very decent price. It's a really nice phone. It's probably one of the best looking Windows phones, although I'm a fan of Nokia, but I like this. Now, I suppose one could say that the styling is Samsung-esque. So I mean, of course, that it does look that, but it's actually of its own, I think it is really nice. Now, Windows 10, again, look, I'll say it again, I like Windows 10. I've always liked Windows, even Windows Mobile 8. I've really liked it. It's a shame that they just could not get it to, they just could not get it together enough to keep it going. But I was reading on the internet now, so I'm not sure, but either the support finishes this year or support finishes next year. So whatever, I'll have this as a backup phone. I like it. I just think it looks really cool. And for me at the moment, it has all the apps that I need, which are Facebook Messenger, Reddit, VLC. It has a torrent program, and it has some third party like for Twitter and stuff like that. So anything else. I can Instagram. I can go through the browser, and I can. It's fine. Now I'm going to say one thing. I don't think, even though this is very high spec, I feel that it doesn't work as smoothly, perhaps with the latest update, as the last, say the Microsoft 950 that I had. Okay, I've just noticed that, but it's not a big deal. And as I say, this will be my travel. I'm going to keep it. I promise I'm not going to sell it. It's getting harder to sell these now, because here people, there's a couple of people who like Windows phones, but it's actually getting harder to sell. So I'm going to keep it and use it as my travel phone. So it will last however long. Plus, there's another really good thing about this. The camera, I think, is very, very decent, 21 megapixel, but the video camera, the video shooting, and it will shoot up to 4K at, I think it said, let me just double check here, it's at 30 FPS and 1080 at 60. Now, I did shoot some 4K, and really, other than there's no any stabilization, so you really would be better to have it on either a gimbal or a small tripod. I thought the footage is the best I've ever seen from any phone, including the one that I'm filming this review on. So I think the camera is pretty decent. In the right light and with the right settings, you can get a really decent photograph as well. So I just think it is really quite decent. So I've got a 64 GB SD card inside here, and I've downloaded or transferred, not downloaded, music, and the sound, I think, is really pretty decent from the headphones, and I've been using Bluetooth, which I'll be doing a review of, so at some point maybe this week. Let me see if I can play just something quick here without getting... Pretty loud. That's the speakers there, pretty loud. Now, the only other thing that I did notice here now, and I don't know if it was to do with the update or this phone, and it could have been, I got this phone, I think it cost me $69. The call quality, or the voices, I thought was a bit robotic sounding. Now, I mean, that might be a fault, it might be a Windows update, but it's not really big deal for me. As I say, it was totally, I could understand what people were saying. It just sounded a bit kind of tinny and robotic. That was really, that I would say was the biggest negative point about this. For the rest, I think it is very, very good. Now, app-wise, let me just, it has Adobe Photoshop Express, which is pretty good for your just on the move kind of editing of your photos. The media player, now the one that I've been using is called, I think it's called Media Player 5. Yep. So Media Player S or 5. Anyway, it's actually pretty good. It's a free one. And I've had no problems with it at all. Of course, you can use the native one, which I think is still Groove Music, but I found this one to be really pretty decent. So, and there's other ones as well, and I downloaded a couple to try. I found this one for me was the best. Of course, I didn't mention it has WhatsApp as well. Now, it has my favourite app, Share It, but I haven't quite worked out how to use it with sharing between Windows and Android or Windows and iOS. I haven't. Look, it's not as easy, but I'll be honest with you. Even I tried it with the PC Windows 10. I didn't think it was. I couldn't do it. So I'm not saying it's a problem with Share It. I'm saying that's a problem with me. But anyway, it's not as easy as the iOS or the Android, or transferring from iOS, Android, iOS. This I haven't worked out how to do. it's my fault. But anyway, what can we do? Now, Amazon have an app. This also has because it's Windows 10 mobile, and it had the latest update, or the last big update. I think it was called the Creators Update. This is what do you call it? Windows Continuum. Yes. So you can connect this via your into a monitor and a wireless or keyboard, Bluetooth keyboard, and you will get a Windows S type experience. It's not bad, and people who were it'll only work with Windows Store apps, but there are some productivity apps, and with this processor you could be certainly for word processing and some light office work, you could have this as your mobile office. You can do it, and I tried it before when I had the 950, and I thought it worked really pretty well. So Netflix is on here as well. I'm just looking at all my apps. I don't use all of these. Now this phone, when it came out, was sold or rebranded as, I think, the Alcatel 4 Pro or something, and it came with a VR headset. And I did see that it does have, it comes installed with a couple of VR games. Now the VR headset is these cheap ones, so you can use it, which I actually have in the house. I haven't tried it, but I've tried it on other phones, and for the kids it's alright. It's not going to be rivaling HTC Vive or Oculus Go or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, it's okay. It works fine. I was, because I don't want to take the iPhone 10 traveling, because really I do not want to break it or lose it, because it's just so expensive. I wanted a travel phone, and I have Android tablet, so I don't need. I've kind of migrated nearly everything over to iOS, and because I've liked Windows 10, and I saw this at a decent price, I fancied it, and it was below the $100, so I was happy with that. That's why I bought it. And I've been watching some TV programs, The Sinner, Riverdale season 2, and this AMOLED screen is really, really, really very nice, and it's incredibly bright. But if you're watching it in your beddy buys like I do, you really got to turn that brightness down. But it is really, really very, very nice. Let me see if I can show you some. I have some video here. I think I shot something. Let me see. That's my kid. Was that a video or a photo? Let me see. So, right, yeah. I was just shooting this, her doing some crazy stuff. Actually, and this was shot at 1080 in the room with no light on, and it's actually very clear, very nice. I'm looking at getting one of these DJI Osmo gimbals, and because I think this would be really good for putting this on the gimbal. It should fit. Fit easy enough, and with I wouldn't be shooting in 4K that much, maybe occasionally, because the files are just so big, but certainly 1080 at 60 frames per second I think is really good, and outside and a good light. I fancy getting that gimbal and using it to just whatever, shoot some stuff with my kids. I think it would be really, really cool. So on eBay, that gimbal, the second one anyway, the second version of it is like, I think I saw it at like $109. So it seems like it's a pretty decent buy. I'm just looking to see if I missed any. Okay, well the there's another thing. It works, but the VPN apps is a bit complicated. I found to run a VPN on this. You can do it, but it's a wee bit complicated. So not as easy as say iOS or I say iOS. I haven't found a decent one for iOS either. Android have got a pretty a number of decent free VPNs. Hola is definitely one of them. What else can I tell you about this? As I said, excuse me, when I first got it, it had a major update, and I haven't seen any updates since then. What I have been using it for mainly, I don't have a SIM inside at the moment, so it's been kind of stuck in my bedroom, and I've been watching some programs on it. It's just a really nice phone for us people who still are fans of Windows, and there's definitely a few of us around, because I was looking at the viewing figures for my last number of Windows, even Windows RT, the Surface, what was it called? Yeah, the Windows Surface tablet, the one that had the RT version, and my last few Windows phones, and they get I've seen a few thousand people viewing these, so people are still really interested in it, and I think it has hardcore following. So you're getting a pretty high-end phone with really very decent spec, with a good camera, and you can get that for $100, less than $100. It's like less than 400 reals, and you can, I have to pay Aramex to get it here from the US, but so maybe I'm paying less than say 450, less than 500 reals for a high-end phone. Yep, I think, and one that is this nice looking, I really do think it is worth it. So there's not much more that I can say about it. I want to tell you, this is a great app, Frida, and I might have talked about it before, but this is a ebook reader app. It's free. It's called Frida. There you can go, and it is really very decent, and again, with this 5.5 inch screen, this could be your mobile entertainment system if you're on the go like me. What I wouldn't say that the browser, which is Microsoft Edge, it's not that great, okay. I've been looking at other ones, and I was looking at this Opera Mini, but most of the ones that are available now are not brilliant either. If somebody has a suggestion, then please let me know. I just want a decent browser that's free, that doesn't have any any of these horrible big adverts on it. So if anybody has some suggestions for me, I ain't no Windows expert, but I would be happy to use a better browser than the one that I'm currently using. Everything else, as you can see here, it's working, pretty decently. As I say, I just feel that it's maybe not as fluid as the Microsoft 950, but and occasionally I've had apps, especially with Facebook, that I've had to click it more than once or twice before it would open, or it would open and it would close. But again, it's not a big deal for me, because I have other ways of looking at social media, and I'm still happy. I enjoy using a Windows phone. I think it looks good. I think with this AMOLED screen, it really makes the operating system shine, and I want to use it until it becomes unusable. So that's my humble opinion. Okay, that's it. I just wanted to share it with you because I think it's a bargain of a phone. Check it out online if you're interested to get one. So Again, any questions, any comments, whatever you want, you can leave them at the bottom, and I will obviously do my best to answer them in a timely manner. So that's it, the Alcatel Idol 4S Windows 10 mobile, cool phone, nice looking. Enjoy Windows Mobile for its swan song while you can. Okay, bye.